Taco Tuesday on kind of a bloodbath of a Tuesday. Bitcoin continuing to go down. Give me just a second here. I'm going to check everything over here on, make sure we're live here on X and YouTube. Yeah. Looks like it's working here. Let me throw a little GM, make sure our chat's working. Anyway, yeah, welcome to Opening Bell Crypto. Let me just take a quick peek over on YouTube, make sure we're live there as well. Let's see here. Okay, we're good. Let me look one second here. We'll get going here, but welcome. Glad you could join me. Hopefully we can kind of sort out what's going on here. What the heck? Right, let's see what's happening here. We are live on both, so welcome. Glad you could join us this morning. Crypto Bull Ron, have been here for 15 years and seen a few days like this, and obviously prefer happy days, but it's not always the way it works out. So let's go here and get this party started here. So yeah. Let's take a look here for Bitcoin market starts. I'm going to be doing this show anywhere between 9 and 9:15 or so. So a little bit, yesterday I started a little earlier. It kind of depends. I'm doing a few other little updates over on some other formats as well. But anyway, as you can see, things got a little worse since yesterday. We're not, we've got Bitcoin sitting right now, what is it, 16 minutes before the market opens. Bitcoin sitting here now at basically what, 62,883, so down 5% since yesterday on the 24-hour. Yeah, just slowly kind of grinding down, right? There just doesn't, I think everyone's just obviously not a lot of liquidity here. I think people are just really struggling for a near-term catalyst, and we'll talk about some of the things. Obviously, we got Trump's tariffs and whatnot starting today. People are really struggling to find. I think people are really struggling to find near-term catalyst of why we should be excited, or why, the sentiment is as bad as you almost ever see it. We have the uncertainty out there. The traditional market took a huge hit yesterday. I mean, absolutely massive hit. Looking the futures, looking a little better today. Let's take a look at how those are kind of panning out. They are looking a little up, though. Crypto's still down, but let's take a look here. So yeah, kind of hate it when stock market goes down, we go down. Stock market goes up, crypto can still go down. That just shows you kind of where we are right now in this whole game, right? But yeah, so the Nasdaq is actually looking to open up 0.42. The Dow as well looking to open up a point. And the S&P. So the traditional market futures are up a little, about a quarter as well. No, see, it hasn't refreshed yet. Yeah. So yeah, traditional market, huge bloodbath yesterday, closed down like 1%. Really, really bad, literally trillions of dollars taken out of the market. So but like I say, looking to come back a little, but crypto is not. Crypto is still just kind of bleeding down. Now we'll see when the market opens here if it pops, but generally not a good sign when futures open and we continue to bleed. We shall see, but So Bitcoin 62,934, Ethereum 1,815, also down 5.4%. XRP 4.7%. So about the same, slightly better, I would even say, but all the way down to $1.32, 326. Binance Chain, similar, about 4.9%. Solana, yeah, they're all taken about all equally as bad. 4.9%, 5% down. So 76.26. We'd been holding in that $80 to $85 range pretty good, but just shows you, just the sentiments were kind of bleeding down, grinding down. My next big thing is about that 58,000, 58.5, 58, wherever that 200-week moving average is. That's kind of what I'm keeping an eye on, to be honest with you. That's kind of what I'm looking for, the next kind of major support level. We've only ever dropped below the 52-week moving average 3 times. Of course, the last time we stayed there for 16 months. So that was kind of, and things are changing. Things are not always the same, but I'm not too worried. I'm not too worried until we break that. So I'm not going to speculate, can we go down to 50,000, high 40s, 40,000, whatever. All this talk to me is premature as long as we're holding that 51 moving average. So 200-week moving average. So we're definitely in a bear market trend. We're definitely, we're definitely grinding down. And the reason we can continue to go down is because what happens is people do not, they're sitting on the sidelines, the big money, a lot of them, not all. We'll have some news today. Sailor bought over the weekend, a couple other potential big players coming in. I'm not saying everybody, but a lot of people wait for that trend to shift before they buy, right? And that's human nature, right? So, what is that near-term catalyst? Later in the year, of course, I believe it's the midterm elections. We have the new Fed. I believe Trump will do everything he can to make that happen. But until that happens, I don't know what the near-term catalyst is. Obviously, probably we'll talk about it. Probably the biggest one is probably that Clarity Act. But let's hit some of the news. We'll come back in 11, 12, 15 minutes or so, see how we're doing. But like I say, right, sentiment is not good. People are leaving. People are sitting on the sidelines. Here we have Bitcoin is on track for its worst monthly performance since June 2022, down over 19%. In February, amid global tariff fears, Bloomberg reports. So, I think we're about to close our 5th down month, as well as, going way back to June of 2022. So not good. Definitely not good. Just kind of that slow grind down. And we may be here a while. And the longer we stay down here, the longer it takes typically to pop back. So the news isn't great. Long term, it's great. Long term, I'm as bullish as I've ever been. I'm doing everything I can to figure out how we can buy more Bitcoin, right? So welcome, GM, everyone that's joining us live on X. It doesn't seem to be saving it, so I've had to upload it and resave it for those of you that want to listen later, but appreciate those people joining us live here today. Just to recap, bad Bitcoin, everything down about 5%. Futures are looking good, but crypto, it hasn't. So we'll see what happens if we get a little bit of a bounce when the market opens. I hate it when traditional market goes down, we go down, traditional market pops up, and Bitcoin and crypto still go down. That's frustrating, but we are looking at our worst month since February or June of 2022, and also 5 months down. Sentiment's bad. People are sitting on the sideline, and like I said a couple times already, I think we're searching for a near-term catalyst to pop things up. We're feeling we're in this slow grind. Scott Besson basically saying, Marito Bartiromo, and saying basically it wasn't a huge setback. The Supreme Court thing wasn't a huge setback. There's different ways. it was just a minor technicality according to him. And there's other ways. They're not, they're not going away. They're getting great ground with these tariffs as far as trade deficits and things like that. They're not. His message is it was a minor setback, but not going to stop. And we have many tools in our bag to continue. Just a technicality on what the president, the way he approached it. So definitely creates uncertainty, though, uncertainty bad for markets, right? And we're seeing it. Today, the new tariffs that Trump put in place for 10% are take place today under a new law, which once again could take months. It could just be this slowly back and forth through the next 2 or 3 years, right? We don't want to see that. And I think Trump wants some clarity, and Trump doesn't want all this uncertainty going into the midterms. But for now, here's what, let's call it like we see it. We're calling balls and strikes here. And we basically have this is going to happen today. It's not good. It's unsettling for the market. But it's not as big a setback as I think some people would let you believe. They're not going to refund that money to anybody. I am seeing some lawsuits and stuff pop up, but we shall see. That's, he can stall for the rest of his thing if he needs to, and he has other ways and even more drastic powers that he does have. He sees this as kind of an existential threat, what's happening to the economy and the trade deficits and all these things. And anyway, he's not going to back out. Hey, Dope Collector, GM, brother. Long time OG friend from X. Glad to see you joining here. Yeah, not a great day today. Not a great day. We're slowly bleeding down. Potentially, we slow down. We go down and we test that 200-week moving average around 58,000. Of course, the next support probably big even number around 60. We'll see how that happens. Futures are looking up, but we're still bleeding down. We'll see if we get a little pop. Fear and greed index, one of my favorite indicators, a little better than yesterday, interestingly. So that means there was a little more panic yesterday than yesterday. Yesterday we're at 5. Today we're at 8. Still a great time historically to buy, in my opinion. I'm still bullish. I'm still buying. I believe we could go lower. Yes. But like I said, I'm not calling for 40 and 50 and anything like that until we break 60, until we break the 200-week moving average. Like I said, we've only ever broken that 3 times in history. So I'm not panicking. Long term, I'm very bullish. Short term, though, it's not feeling great for anybody here. Definitely, it's getting slowly worse, just little by little. We'll see. And with no near-term catalyst, that's the thing. Michael Saylor, I mentioned this yesterday. I figured he had to be down a few billion. Yeah, he's down probably over 10 billion now. Now, is that going to affect him? He saw this. Don't forget, before he ran whatever we were at, 74 all the way down to 16, and he didn't flinch, right? So everyone acting, he knows there's going to be volatility. He loves the volatility, and he's smart enough to structure it that they're not going to get a margin call or whatever. Yeah, Dope Collector prepared for 58 or worse. Perfect. Yep. Stacking sats is taking profits. Listen, I had a good friend, a good business partner whose grandpa extremely successful in the retail sports industry. And he used to say this, and I'm sure other people have said it, but I got it from him. His grandpa, in talking about products, you make your money when you buy, not when you sell, right? Because if you buy right, if you buy at the right price, the selling's going to come, right? So focus more on the buying. And Dope Collector, I think that's what you're saying. Stacking sats is taking profits. You buy now, you're locking in those profits in the future. So I agree with you. You make your money when you buy, not when you sell. And eventually you may not even ever have to sell your Bitcoin because you can borrow against it. And that's some great tax advantage. That's what people do who own real estate. They sometimes borrow the money tax-free and live on that. So never pay it back, or let the asset pay it back. So Michael Saylor, I'm sure he's feeling some pressure. Not much though, because I think he sees this. He's been here before. He's structured properly. Now he may impede his ability to raise money, but keep in mind he's also going to countries, sovereign wealth funds, the biggest multi-trillion dollar, hundreds of billions of dollar retirement funds, family offices, states, massive companies, right? So I would say that his customer is not retail, and he's going out to the big boys, helping change the world, right? So you got Jack Dorsey. We saw Jack Dorsey the other day on the phone with huge sovereign wealth fund in India that manage trillions and trillions of dollars. We see Michael Saylor, we see CZ, we see people out there spreading this message. So, yeah, like I say, it may impede his ability to raise easy money, but I don't think so. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't like the feeling, but that can easily turn into a $100 billion profit, when we turn around, which we will. Here we have billionaire Tim Draper, one of the smartest investors ever, living legend, saying on Bitcoin, I think it's the greatest thing that's happened to humanity. It's as big a deal as us going from nothing to shells, and from shells to gold. So listen, smart money's buying, dumb money's not buying. That it's just that simple, right? And maybe, maybe you're neither. Maybe you're just sitting waiting for a lower entry, which you may get, and that's okay. That's part of the problem now, right? A lot of people waiting, a lot of big funds and stuff will wait for the trend to change. They may have $1 billion they're going to throw into Bitcoin, but they're not going to do it until the trend changes, because they figure they have time, right? And we're in a bearish trend right now, and it seems to be slowly getting worse, slowly grinding down, not getting better. So, in my opinion, that is what's happening. But GM, welcome all the new listeners. Recap: Bitcoin down about 5%. However, futures in looking to open up and about positive. We'll see if we get a bump or not on our Bitcoin side. But I'm long-term bullish, short-term bearish, as far as not necessarily bearish. I'm buying. I feel like we're in the buy zone right now. Even if we go lower, that's fine. I'm stacking. I've been here for 15 years. I've been here too many times to panic or to get scared. Though nobody likes to be down, millions of dollars, but it is what it is. Let's look at a couple more news things. We got the Mexico thing. Obviously, the big cartel leader taken out. They're burning down Mexico. This is what narco-terrorism looks like. Governments that go soft on cartels invite the chaos. They're saying that guy who got taken out yesterday was more powerful than the president of Mexico. So we'll see what happens. Praying for anyone tourists, anyone stuck down there. I go to Mexico quite a bit. My grandma was from Mexico. I don't speak Spanish though, and I don't usually take my wife when I go, just because stuff like this can always happen. I don't, but I love Mexico. I'd love to see him get all these cartels cleaned out and not such a corrupt government, because man, I'd probably spend a lot of time, maybe live part of the year in Mexico. I love Mexico, man. I love the desert. I love the ocean. I love Mexico. So anyway, I don't know that this is going to have a huge effect on the market. I think this is kind of exhilarative. I think there's bigger things, the tariffs, but this and the Iran war coming up as well. I mean, let's not forget. So this news today, this is a big shoe waiting to drop, right? Something's going to happen there. The poly market odds have it like 90% that there will be attack on Iran before the end of the year. I think there's going to be some. I don't think it's going to be some drawn out thing, but I do think this is a shoe to drop. We need to be careful. Well, look, we were really worried about it last Friday, right? And coming up to weekends, we always need to be worried about it, because Trump is always likes to do his in and out quick things before when the market's closed, but we become the victim of that. So anyway, a lot of people disappointed in Trump as a Bitcoin president and stuff like that. I even hear people say it was better under Biden and hey, we miss Gary Gensler and that. I'm not on board with that at all, right? Not at all. He's it's taken some time, but but he's way, way, way better than where we were. Look, let's take a look now in the market open for 2 minutes. Let's see where we're at with that. Let's see where we're at. Let's look at the NASDAQ first. Looked to open in the green. Let's let's see if we hopefully gives us a little bump, because I hate the pattern when they drop, we drop. They pump, we drop. I do not like that. Do not like that. What's going on? Out a slow website. I got to get a new website to use rather than Yahoo Finance. It just kind of gives me the information I need here, but give me a break. Crappiest website I've ever used. Definitely need to move to Bloomberg or something. While we're waiting for that, let's look at Bitcoin, I guess. We need better. We the same. Doesn't look like. Let's look at the just since. Yeah. So far, no change. We'll see. See what happens with the market here. Okay. So interesting. So no, yeah, it turned. It looks like it turned. Looks like it's turned negative. Well, let's see. Yep. Okay, so we're 3 minutes in. And it signaled all night that it was going to open in the green and 1/4%. So that's why Bitcoin is reacting. So yeah, I don't know that necessarily it'll bring Bitcoin down. The Dow. No, hold on a second. Let me see here. I'm not getting accurate data here. This is a crappy website. I'm going to figure out a different one to use tomorrow. Okay. So from what I'm seeing, let me refresh it to make sure. The Dow is positive, but the NASDAQ is negative, and so is the S&P. So let's confirm that. Still looking at the Dow. The NASDAQ looks down about 0.3. If we look at the small box over on the right, this is terrible website. Unbelievable. Yeah, just going off what we're seeing on the small side there. Yep, NASDAQ down 0.28, S&P down as well. So, yeah, so signaled in the green. It looks like the Dow held it. The other are down. Let's go look at Bitcoin. Not a huge reaction. Down about the same. Like I say, we already kind of took our hits before. Ethereum down a little bit worse in the opening, down 5.5, 1807. Man, I'll tell you, I'm starting. I see Ethereum down at these levels. I'm starting to get. I don't own a bunch of Ethereum, and neither does the fund that I manage. That may change when I see it down here. I start to get a little bit more excited about it. XRP, yeah, about the same. Didn't have, a little bit, 131.6, so down 4.5. So, like I say, some of these hits. Now, if this market continues to bleed, we could too. But yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. If you're just joining us, not a great day in the market. Futures signaled that open they didn't, except for the Dow, both the NASDAQ and S&P in the negative, and Bitcoin and others down around 5%. Same BNB, still around 5%. Solana, a little bit worse. Like Ethereum took a little bit slightly worse, 75.94, down 5.2. Bitcoin, down 62,844. So not quite as bad. Listen, we're in a bearish pattern. We know that. We have these tariffs. We have uncertainty. Not good. I just don't see. We have sentiment horrible, bad as I've ever seen it in crypto in my 15 years. everyone believes it's going lower, right? Now, when everyone believes it's going lower, sometimes that's when we go higher, right? But most people are sitting on the sidelines. And though I agree, what I'm struck with today, if I was to make one sentence or one to kind of give you my kind of elevator analysis, is we just don't have a short term. We don't, nobody sees a short term catalyst. Okay, we have a new Fed chair. I see catalysts in the spring. I see catalysts before the midterm. Short term, I'm struggling to find a catalyst. And I think a lot of people are, right? And I think when that happens, I think when we're struggling to find a short term catalyst, people are just going to sit. People are just going to sit on the sidelines, and they're not going to take any action. So I believe that is the problem, that there's just not a catalyst. And then that change, right? Bitcoin 63, so that's nice. Yeah, so Bitcoin shucking it off a little bit, up a little bit. Yeah, doing a little bit better than everything else. So I'll take it. I like 63. I'd like 70 more, but look, on the downside, my next target, of course, is 60, because it's a big round number. But the real support, if we grind down, which a lot of people think we're going to test it, is the 200-week moving average. I believe that is right now around 58.3, 58.5, maybe 58.2. I didn't check before the stream, but that's kind of my downside look. So yeah, overall, not a great day. We've got the tariffs. We got the Iran war thing that's a shoe waiting to drop. We have the Mexico thing. To me, that's not big. It could escalate bigger, but I think if it escalates and U.S. becomes involved, we'll just see some serious, like SEAL Team 6 type, and a lot of drone strikes and things like that. I don't think these guys are not that guy they just took out was one of the biggest and hardest to find and under the radar guys. So, but yeah, I don't see that worrying. I'm not even really worried about the Iran thing. I do think we wind up striking Iran. I do think something happens there. A nice little pump, actually. Look, if we look on the hourly chart, got a little bit of a pump there. Let's see if that goes. That's good, right? To be honest with you, we were kind of over. Looking on the hourly chart, we were overly on the side. So hopefully this goes up, holds. We'll see. Hopefully we don't have the 10 a.m. starting to right. But anyway, yeah, not a great day. It is what it is. We've got look at some of the news. You know, the Iran thing is a shoe waiting to drop. I don't know how big, but I don't see it like tanking the market, because I think it'll be short-lived, whatever it is, but definitely it could happen. So this is the big one, I think. This is the big thing. I've not been paying all that much attention to it, to be honest. I kind of thought it was a done deal. But this is, I think, the news of the day, or where we need to kind of shift our focus. We know these other things, you know, the tariffs, the Mexico stuff, the Iran thing, those are all factors. Those are all causing uncertainty. And that's quite frankly where we are. But, and we reported on this, you know, well, no, I mean, we report on every day, but I haven't been really diving into it. But I know lately, you know, if you look back, we look at, you know, Coinbase CEO, they kind of pulled their support for it because there was big pushbacks from the banks. And quite frankly, the big hangup is the banks do not want companies to pay yield on stable coins. It's huge competition for them, right? And it's quite frankly, it's much better. So that is it. And this article here just says progress has slowed in the Senate. Negotiations around the Digital Asset Market Clarity Act, particularly over stablecoin yield and banking, resistance. Some prediction markets showed odds crashed around talks stalling, suggesting expectations of a delay. Other voices, including Ripple CEO, sees higher odds, up to 80-90% passage by April, May 2026. This to me is the big one. I'm gonna pay more attention to it. I know there was some big meetings hosted by the White House. I know there was a lot of people got together in that World Liberty Fi meeting in Mar-a-Lago a few days. What I'm hearing is, there's some, and we look at the prediction markets, right? That's why I love the prediction markets. People are betting on what information they have, right? Whether insiders or not, and all that stuff. I like the prediction markets, and so we'll keep an eye on the prediction markets, Kalshi and Poly Market for the passage of this. But it has dropped. I didn't check it right now, but I probably will. I'm going to start paying attention. I think this is where we need to put our attention. State of the Union tonight. This could be a good or a bad thing. I hope he mentions crypto and stuff like that. That could give us a little boost we need. But anyway, that'll be at 9 p.m. tonight. I might stream it. I might stream it live here and make some commentary potentially. But anyway, keep an eye on that. Could cause volatility. Could be good. Especially if he mentions Bitcoin, crypto, I'd love to, it's like I'd love to hear him talk about a strategic Bitcoin reserve, right? Like we kind of given up hope on that. That's another thing that could obviously a catalyst. So the catalysts are out there. I just don't know what's going to change the narrative today, tomorrow, next week. That's all. I think that's why we're bleeding like we are. But people continues to be good news, continues to be a good time to buy stuff. In my opinion, I'm in the buy zone. I'm buying, even though I know we might bleed a little bit more, but this is pretty big news here, right here. $16 billion Emirates NRB Bank just announced live on CNBC that it will buy Bitcoin soon. We are considering a 1% allocation. We love BTC, one of the biggest asset managers in the Middle East with $16 billion assets under management. So there is some big people are going to buy. Big people, these big sovereign wealth funds, countries, things like that. So the catalysts are there. The tailwinds are there. Just short term is where I see the problem. And that's why we are. It's not, doesn't take a genius to figure out that sentiment sucks and we're slowly bleeding out here. News yesterday. Interesting on the AI side. IBM drops 13%. They literally lost 31 billion in values. Anthropic claims Claude can read and modernize legacy COBOL code, which is an old code that's been around forever. And IBM servers and stuff like that, and upgrades to servers and things like that. It's a big part of their business. Now, this is probably a knee-jerk reaction, to be honest with you, which we've seen a few times, like when that Chinese AI came in, it completely obliterated the market. Sometimes we're a little too reactionary to AI news, but it shows you the power of AI news, how it's on people's minds. Adam, our guy Adam Back, the only person, she's white paper, and the owner of BSTR, which I think they're like the fourth biggest DAT. He hinted that he's going to buy 13,000 more Bitcoin, so over $800 million worth of Bitcoin. So, look, these guys have been a little quiet lately, some of these DATs, and they're under pressure. And unfortunately, some of the weaker ones, the ones that aren't structured right, they're, and we're already seeing it. We're seeing Bitcoin miners selling. We're seeing some of these less strong, less let's just say the ones that were maybe with a little more weakness have been having to sell. So we knew that, right? We knew that when everyone and their dog was starting a Bitcoin treasury company, right? But he's one of the big ones. He's one of the OGs. They have billions of dollars under management. There looks like they're planning a massive purchase. So it'll happen. Long term, we're great. Long term, we should buy. Earlier in the comments, dope collector .eth said stacking sats is taking profit, and I really believe that. I believe there's never been a better time to buy Bitcoin than now, just because of risk reward. Yeah, back when you could buy it for $1,000 or $3,000 or $100, we didn't know if it was going to be around. Now we know it's going to be around. So, and the longer we bleed out and stay down here, probably the longer it's going to take to go back, unless we have a massive catalyst. U.S. announces strategic reserve, different things, could happen fast, but, we might have more time to buy. I never know though. I've seen it go up $10,000 in a day. Things could turn around, right? I don't see what the catalyst is right now. I'm not calling for a short-term turnaround, but it can, right? And in 15 years, if I've learned anything, is expect the unexpected. Tokenized on our GM Bitcoin morning show, I have RWA up in the title, have had for a couple of years now. RWA, of course, being tokenized assets, one of the biggest, to me, the biggest narratives here. That could be stocks, that could be real estate properties, that could be bonds, that could be automobiles, watches, art, anything, any real world asset theoretically could be tokenized, fractionalized and tokenized. And the fractionalization side of it is one part of it that makes it very, very good, because now it can be split up between, millions of people. And you can do that. You can literally have, 50-cent transactions on the blockchain if you want. And this is so good for people in like Africa. I'm very passionate about Africa. I've been there 16 times. I try and go there every year. I spend as much time there as I really humanly can. And I've seen so much their banking system. Billions of people over there unbanked, don't have modern banking, modern investing things. The blockchain is going to bring this to 4 or 5 billion people. Let's just say 3 to 4 billion people, that it's going to bring them in. They're going to be able to buy maybe a piece of that new Trump hotel going into Australia, or the new one going in Dubai, right? Like, I guarantee that I will buy when those hit the blockchains, which they're going to. World Liberty Fi has already said, I'm going to definitely invest in those just for fun. Anyway, tokenized U.S. stocks already hit 10 billion. So that's a huge thing. I'm getting ready. I have some stocks I want to buy. I don't own a regular U.S. bank account. I don't have a U.S. brokerage account. So I will definitely buy them on chain as soon as and most of those right now are on Solana, but they could be on either. This day, 2010, Satoshi Nakamoto updated the Bitcoin logo to the iconic one we know today with the 2 vertical lines. So that happened today. Happy birthday to the Bitcoin logo. Happy birthday to the Bitcoin logo. And let's check another quick check on the markets, and then I have one last piece of news. Like I say, let's check in on check in and see how the stock it all night. So those of you that are just joining us, welcome. All night, it looked like it was going to open in the red, in the green, and opening in the wound up opening in the red. So except for the Dow. So well, now actually it's reversed, and the NASDAQ is now up 0.5 point. It looks like the Dow is up 0.86, and the S&P is still down 0.2. So good turnaround. Let's see what it's doing for us over in Bitcoin crypto land. Yeah, continue to do. This is the hourly chart. Yeah, so a little bit of a turnaround. Good, I'll take it. We're down, instead of being down 5.5%, like when I started the show, we're now down 3.7, up to 63,561. So up almost 1% since the market opened. So good. Maybe we'll see what happens. It would be nice if we can at least maintain that. I don't like to see us going lower. We'll see what happens. Ethereum. Let's look at the same thing. Let's look at the hourly charts. Ethereum up 1.1%, 1836. XRP up 0.2, not quite as big of a rebound. Well, actually, it's actually doing about the same because they were down 4.5, 5% as well. But yeah, XRP up to 133.8. BNB similar up, well, not quite as much. A little bit lagging a little bit behind the others, but let's see how Solana is doing. Solana not doing too bad, 77.11, up 0.6. So yeah, I'll take that. A little bit of a turnaround. We'll see where that goes. To recap things, we're struggling to find a short-term catalyst. We've got the tariffs, we've got the Iran thing, and the biggest thing I'm calling today, my take and what I'm kind of going to focus on for the next few weeks, is this could be a little bit of a snag, but that I think we need that clarity. I think there's a lot of big money sitting on the sidelines. Kevin Leary says there's literally trillions sitting on the sidelines waiting to come in with the Clarity Act. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on. Little better off. Yeah, we continue to pump a little bit. So that's good. I'm going to just leave you with one last piece of news. Bhutan, the happiest country in the world, governed entirely by Buddhist monks. They, of course, were stealthily mining Bitcoin, got over I think close to $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. They have a lot of hydroelectric. So they have a lot of free electricity. They built a new airport with it and whatnot. And this is kind of cool. I'm going to look into this because I am looking to start spending some serious time abroad. We've got a few places in mind, but I will definitely look into this. Basically, they're introducing a new digital nomad visa backed by Solana. So if you invest $10,000 into their TER, which is a gold-backed stable coin, and you pay $2,800, you can get a visa to stay there for 3 years, 36 months. So interesting. I've never, closest I've come is the Tian Shan Mountains, right on the border of China there with in Kyrgyzstan. Literally, I was literally like right on the Chinese border, like literally on the border. That's up there in the Tian Shan Mountains. That's the closest I've been to Bhutan, but very high elevation. I'm going to look into it. I'd love to go hang out over there and see what's up. I don't know much about it. I'm definitely going to look into it now. But hey, appreciate everyone to join it. You can join me in 5 minutes on the GM Bitcoin Morning Show. We'll talk about a lot of the same stuff, obviously, but I do have co-hosts and speakers come up. And hey, come join and say hello if you want to add your 2 cents over there. Appreciate everyone joining me here. I see we have quite a few live people watching on X. For some reason, it's not automatically saving like it should. And if that persists, what I do is I go ahead and upload it. I upload it so you can watch it later or check back in or share it with other people. But I do appreciate everybody. I will try and get that fixed because it's nice when it just automatically saves it like it should, but hasn't been doing that for 10 days or so now. But anyway, appreciate everybody. Appreciate the support. We'll see everyone over on the GM Bitcoin Morning Show if you want to join me there for that X space. And otherwise, we'll be back tomorrow. And I might live stream the State of the Union tonight and have some commentary. So join me there if that happens. Otherwise, appreciate everybody, and we'll see everyone tomorrow. And see a few of you over on the GM Bitcoin Morning Show in a few. Guys, have a great Taco Tuesday. Maybe Tequila Tuesday today. Maybe there is some tequila in order. We'll see.